Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
All right, let's jump right into it. It's our local sports roundup brought to you by our friends from Carpet City Flooring Center. Again, big thanks because a week ago today, they were in the studio to our left, if you remember Brandon, putting in the new carpets over there. It looks absolutely fantastic. All of our studio, I mean, that one, wax, greatest hits, and then, of course, ours with the putting green. It's like their second home over here.
Right.
So big thanks to our friends at Carpet City Flooring Center for all the work they've been doing here. So let's catch up on some local stuff here. Now I can see what you're doing.
Yeah, now you can go where I'm going.
Yeah, so want to start with boys basketball?
No.
That's the window you got up. So
but I mean, well, first of all, last night pretty much the entire schedule wiped out. Mother Nature with her unique evening, but But yeah, we're jumping right back in a busy night tonight. I mean, we can look at the big rivers. I mean, both North and Memorial home tonight. I mean, North has got New Richmond. Eau Claire Memorial's got River Falls. I mean, River Falls is a team that's off to a pretty good start to the year.
Mm-hmm.
They're always kind of a face in the race, so to speak. You got Chippewa Falls making the trip over to Hudson and Rice Lake hosting Menominee. So, on the boys' side of the big rivers, you only got like really one conference game in. So those just got going.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something that, hasn't quite maybe gotten going as much as, on the girls' end of things. But the boys in the Western Clover Belt's got a little bit more on their plate, and they were the ones that were kind of wiped out last night. You had a conference schedule that was kind of put together last night. I mean, you got Regis and Oak Mountain playing tonight.
Okay.
Or scheduled to, I guess, but maybe. I mean, but otherwise, I mean, you look kind of early season in the Western Clover Belt. Last Friday, I was at Stanley Boyd at Fall Creek, and that was an impressive win for Stanley Boyd. I mean, Fall Creek is always a team that's in that mix at the top of the conference. I mean, Rick Storley's been doing it at a high level for a long time with the Crickets, and Stanley Boyd went in. They're a place that they don't win very much. I mean, not a lot of teams do. Like, I was even talking afterwards, I'm like, this might be the first team I've ever covered that's actually won in here. Like,
wow.
It's just there's always good teams waiting when you get there. It doesn't matter if it's boys basketball, girls basketball, volleyball, whatever. But, Stanley Boyd picked up a solid win there. I mean, kind of showcasing the team they can be as far as how they did it. I mean, with Charlie Hull and Josiah Dembski, they've got a couple, good post players, but really the thing for them early on. I mean, Stanley Boyd's off to a 7-0 or a 7-0 start to the season.
Wow.
Is for me the thing I think I've been most impressed with is
they played 7 games already.
Yeah, and that's kind of the unique thing. I was even talking with this with just some other coaches where some teams have played 7 games, like Stanley Boyd, and then you've got a team.
Regis played 3.
Regis played 3.
Yeah.
Like that's just how the schedule is early on. Some teams really schedule a lot of games early. I know Bloomers only played 4 games, so some teams play a bunch of games early, but other teams kind of load up later in the year.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's impressed me the most about Stanley Boyd so far is the guard play. I mean, they've got a lot of guards that Coach Dakota Nichols have put a lot of work in the offseason to kind of get better because they understood coming into the year, like with such a junior-heavy group, these next 2 years are really an opportunity for them to, kind of go and achieve some big things.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think of, Brenner Myers has had some really good games early on. Brayton Mallow, kind of the same thing, where kids that have been able to knock down shots from distance, which obviously helps when you've got 2 guys that work around the basket, but they've just done a good job of kind of playing defense and running the offense, like being those players that can step up in a spot if they're needed.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's that getting that win at Fall Creek is a big early one, but there's going to be a lot more. I mean, Regis is going to be in that race. I think McDonald's going to be hanging out in there. Thorpe is going to be an improved team. I mean, they beat Bloomer last week. That's going to be a Thorpe team that I think come postseason Division 5 is going to be one to keep an eye on. There's some really good young talent on that Cardinal team. So, that's one you got to keep an eye on. But like I said, I mean, they were supposed to be kind of the schedule yesterday, but Mother Nature had other ideas.
Yeah.
Then switching to the girls' action, a lot of those games I mentioned, those teams play, it's just flip. So, like, Eau Claire Memorial is hosting River Falls. That's one that's actually at Eau Claire Memorial. They got a doubleheader there with the boys and the girls tonight. So, if you're an Old Abe's fan, obviously you can go, get in some, see some good teams here across those 2 games. Chippewa Falls hosting Hudson, Menominee hosting Rice Lake, and New Richmond hosting Eau Claire North as the Huskies make that trip. So, A few more games going on in the Big Rivers there. Right now you kind of got you got 4 teams that are unbeaten in conference play: Rice Lake, Memorial, Hudson, River Falls. Not too surprising. Memorial was a game from state last year. Rice Lake, we know about the tremendous talent there. Hudson, always a factor in that race, and then River Falls making a nice step up. They're 7-1 right now. So
yeah, it is really kind of top heavy right now.
It is. It is. Western Clover Belt girls. That's the schedule that will be in action tonight, including a really big one with McDonald at Regis. That's one. Those are 2 of the 3 teams that shared the conference championship last year.
Okay.
Along with Fall Creek, you've got Regis or hosting McDonald. Otherwise, you got Fall Creek hosting Bloomer, Thorpe, and Elk Mound, and you got the Highway 29, maybe you want to call it the Highway X rivalry, however you want to phrase it up there. Stanley Boyd and Cadott in Cadott. So
we got to go Highway X because you barely hear that one. So,
right. We're going Highway X on that one. So. But yeah, the Western
locals know it,
right? The big game of the night, McDonald at Regis girls basketball. Those are 2 really talented teams, 2 teams that come postseason in Division IV are going to be definitely threats. It's a rivalry. Those are and right now those are the 2 teams that are 4-0 in conference play. So after the night, one of those teams going to be all alone at the top of the Western Clover Belt. So and they split their matchups last year. So we'll see how that how that develops there. That's going to be I think that's going to be one that's got a lot of people's attention tonight. So
right,
we want to switch up to boys hockey. That was another one they got kind of their schedule last night in the Big Rivers kind of got taken care of. But going back to Tuesday, a big one with Hudson picking up the 4-0 win over Eau Claire Memorial, and that's got Hudson at the top of the conference right now. They're 4-0. Memorial's 3-1. They've already got some important wins in the bag, including one over Chippewa Falls earlier in the year. But, we're still kind of, I think, in that kind of feeling out process for the Big Rivers. The Big Rivers in boys hockey is always such a good conference. Like, it's never a surprise when a team gets down to state, and they usually do some damage when they get there. Last couple of years, that's been a New Richmond, but that's also been a Chippewa Falls, or, Eau Claire Memorial was a game away from state last year. So, really, you're going to see, I think, after the new year, you're going to kind of see, can Hudson kind of continue to put a little bit of distance on the pack? Is there who else develops? Because you've got a bunch of teams that I would say are all kind of fighting in that mix. Memorial North, New Richmond, Chippewa Falls is a bit of a younger team, but they've got. I think when push comes to shove, they're going to be a team that you got to keep an eye on in the second half. And after you get through this week, you're going to see a lot of, kind of almost a return to just the non-conference plays. Over the Christmas break, you're going to have a lot of tournaments, too. I know Chippewa Falls is going over to Green Bay, Notre Dame. I think Eau Claire Memorial goes over there, too. So,
okay.
That's always, kind of a marquee boys hockey tournament because you've got a lot of high-level programs from around the state. They go make their way over and, spend some time over in the greater Ashwaubenon area. So...
Hey, if they go over to Shawano, we know of a place, or they
maybe that's more for the parents.
That's true.
Yeah, and then in the middle border,
they got food there too.
They do, but in the middle border, right now you got Regis Altoona, McDonald, Ram is tied for the top spot in the middle border. They're tied with Amory. I saw Ram on Monday night. They fell to Menominee. A team that's playing some younger players, but also I think a team that is going to be one to keep an eye on in that middle border race. And Somerset, they're 1-1 in conference, but they picked up a win over Chippewa Falls on Tuesday. That's a team that's achieved a lot here in recent years. So it's another one you're gonna have to keep an eye on, I think. So, and then wrestling. Actually, we had some wrestling meets knocked out yesterday. There was I know Eau Claire North was set to host a Big Rivers multi-team. I was gonna call it a quad, but either or. Chippewa Falls was there. I think Hudson. That's one's going to get rescheduled, so they'll obviously get back to it because there's conference implications in there. But coming up, you've got some local teams heading over to Somerset today. I know Chippewa Falls is one of those teams, but and then tomorrow, for the kind of that last Saturday before Christmas, the Christmas break, you've got some wrestling events as well. Some teams that go to Osceola, some teams going to Auburndale, maybe making a trip to Minnesota to go to Rochester. I know. Over the Christmas break, you've got some big tournaments. I believe UW Eau Claire is hosting one. I believe that might be at the Sontag. I have to double check on that. But otherwise, a lot of teams go to River Falls for the Northern Badger. That's always a big deal. Maybe going down to La Crosse for the bi-state, which you got a lot of great teams from Wisconsin and Minnesota. That's the name that go there as well. Also, tomorrow the annual Santa Claus invite for the Eau Claire boys swim team. That's going to be going on in Eau Claire North. So a lot of the local swim teams will be there. It's always a fun event because it's obviously with the name, it's very Christmas themed.
Yeah.
So you got people breaking out their holiday sweaters and their Santa hats and all that good stuff. So
We need Santa doing a dive though into the pool.
we do. We do. Eau Claire, if you get on that, that'd be some great video to send Dan's way.
Exactly.
Get someone that wants to be Santa going to the pool. And,
Yep. Got to wear the beard and the hat.
Yes.
So got to do that. So
That might be a little bit tough getting out of the pool, but
it would be, but
that's what the lifeguard's for.
do it for the kids.
That's what the lifeguard's for.
Yep. So, man, breaking it down all there. I know Blue Gold wise and such because it's finals week, so you don't have a whole lot of stuff going on. But again, coming up on Sunday, you've got the 20th ranked Blue Gold undefeated men's basketball team. They're going to be at the Sontag Center taking on North Park University. Free admission to any fan. So if you want to, again, you don't have a Packer game Sunday afternoon.
Right, there you
so
go.
3 o'clock to check out this 20th ranked in the country Blue Gold men's basketball team, looking to remain undefeated before they begin WIAC play, because that conference play is coming up right after that. So thanks to our friends from Hy-Vee for that. They're covering the tickets over there. So, and I know men's basketball for Stout coming up tomorrow. They're going to be taking on St. Mary's University in Minnesota. Then, after holidays and after finals, graduation stuff, things will start.
All
to
that
kick
other
into
stuff
gear.
that I guess comes with college too. And you've also got tonight and tomorrow night at the Chippewa Steel there at home as well. They've been had a home heavy slate here in December. They'll be home tonight and tomorrow night at Chippewa Herald Arena. You want to go and check that game? I believe tomorrow night is their annual teddy bear toss, which is always one of their bigger events they do, where bring a teddy bear and it'll definitely go to some kiddos, some kiddos out there in the community. So
Definitely.
it's always fun to watch the video of that, because at one point they'll always call it out okay. And so then you've got people throwing teddy bears on the ice, and you've got some of those really ambitious people that bring the giant ones. So you see these people trying to push these gigantic teddy bears over the glass. It's actually pretty funny, but it goes to a great cause. So tonight or tomorrow night, if you're going, like I mentioned, tomorrow night you have you got some teddy bears.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. All right, that's your local sports roundup, brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center.